Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
43-year-old West Virginia resident Eric Cramer traveled to D.C. with his brother, Country Cramer. This was on January 6th, of course. Cramer was seen in photos and on video carrying a metal baseball bat, both inside and outside the Capitol. He also had a gas mask on at various times throughout the day. And at one point, as officers were weaving their way through the crowd, they were attacked by members of the mob. And as one officer swung his baton towards the crowd, Cramer grabbed it with both hands and he wouldn't let go until another officer intervened. A while later, as police were still moving throughout the crowd, the mob started to push on one particular officer. So simultaneously, other officers grabbed onto him and they were trying to pull him back into the police line as the mob was trying to get him away from the police line. Well, at that time, Cramer was captured on video. He reached out and he grabbed the officer's arm. And it says in the sentencing memo, he held on to it for several seconds. Cramer then moved to the Capitol and he approached the Senate wing doors. This was the site of the very first breach of the building. That's where Proud Boys member Dominic Pezzola smashed in the window with a stolen riot shield. Then other members of Trump's mob kicked open the doors. Well, by the time Cramer had arrived, the police had already moved large pieces of furniture in front of the doors and the windows, and they had a small police presence standing guard behind that furniture. They basically had re-secured those areas, or so they thought. Unfortunately, they were greatly outnumbered by the mob. There was a huge crowd that had massed outside, and you could see Cramer in photos and on surveillance video. He was at the very front of this large mob. Within minutes, Cramer and the others forced their way into the building. They overturned the furniture. They physically pushed past the officers. So Cramer remained in the building for only about 5 minutes. This is until his brother came in to get him. But following the Capitol attack, Cramer was boasting, and he was, of course, embellishing his actions on social media. He posted a photo of a police baton on Facebook, and he wrote, quote, "Took it from the cop that hit me with it, so I guess that's my trophy." Then on January 7th, Cramer responded to negative comments on his post, and he said in one, quote, "I was there. I saw the hate in the eyes of those dudes. I first felt the hate. I sure as hell don't need a crowd to feel special either. And for you to should have run a baton in my ribs is kind of bullshit. If I deserved it just for being in range, well, yeah, I got a lot of respect for him and for you for that matter. That's like saying just because he could, he should. But I did give him the respect of not hitting him back with it. So to all who claim my verbiage was disrespectful, don't be quick to judge unless you're willing to stand up. I had one of those just doing his job cops running a baton in my ribs because he thought he could until I took it from him." On January 19th of 2021, Cramer was interviewed by the FBI, and he made himself out to be a real hero for the police. Cramer admitted to being at the Capitol, and he said that after the officer hit him in the torso with his baton, the officer dropped it on the ground. So he claimed that the officer was just reacting to the chaotic situation. And then Cramer says he picked up the baton off the ground to prevent other members of the mob from using it against the police. So yeah, he took it from him, but now all of a sudden the cop dropped it. So I just love how these guys make themselves out to be these badass patriots on social media. And then when the popo shows up, they become these back the blue pacifist heroes, I was just trying to keep the peace. So Cramer also claimed that he was pushed inside the Capitol by a large crowd. And he said that he didn't observe any violent actions against the police. So following that lie-filled interview, Cramer posted on Facebook, quote, "Just a bunch of questions. Got to give back the baton the cop hit me with." Well, in a subsequent FBI interview on August 17th of 2021, Cramer amended his story a little bit. He admitted that his brother briefly entered the Capitol to find him before he claimed that his brother didn't go anywhere near the Capitol. He still maintained, though, that he was pushed inside, but the video evidence doesn't lie. So Cramer was arrested on July 8th of 2022, and he was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. Why no charges of civil disorder, assaulting officers? I have no idea. Anyway, in October of 2022, Cramer pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct in a restricted building or grounds. So he was looking at up to 1 year in prison, 1 year of probation, and $100,000 in fines. This time, the prosecutor asked for almost the full Monty, at least in regard to time behind bars. They requested 10 months in jail, 1 year of probation, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. And the probation office actually recommended between 8 and 14 months. This is likely due to his criminal history. In 2004, Cramer was convicted for assaulting a family member, and the prosecutor said that the incident involved kidnapping. In 2006, Cramer was charged again with assaulting a family member and violating a protective order, but he was acquitted of those charges, and they were subsequently dismissed. Then in 2014, Cramer was convicted of illegal possession of wildlife. And in 2017, he was hit yet again with a domestic assault charge, this time involving his 15-year-old daughter. She was 15 at the time. This, I assume, by the way, is the same daughter who bragged about her father's actions at the Capitol. She shared a photo of the baton that he claimed to, quote, take from the officer, which he totally didn't. So anyway, that charge was also unfortunately dismissed. And then Cramer has a bunch of different traffic citations for speeding, lack of proof of insurance, following too closely. He also committed another crime after the Capitol attack. In May of 2021, Cramer was charged for writing a worthless check. This was over $300. So this guy doesn't learn his lesson, and he obviously has a propensity for violence. U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss presided over Cramer's case, and at the sentencing hearing, Judge Moss expressed concern about the bat. He said that unless someone was walking up to the plate for a baseball game, they were likely, quote, engaging in threatening behavior. And in reference to January 6th in general, Judge Moss said, quote, "It is just more and more disturbing the more I see. It was one of the most regrettable days in our country." So Cramer apologized for his actions at the Capitol, and he told the judge, quote, "I know in my heart, though, that I was not there for negative anything." In the end, Judge Moss sentenced Cramer to 8 months in jail, 1 year of probation, and a $500 restitution fee. So not the best, but better than most. So I'll take it. And given his history, it's not going to be long before he screws up again and he's back in the clink. So I will let you guys know when that happens. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Be sure to watch the next video coming up in the corner. Not sure which side of the screen you're going to see it, but please like this video, share it with others. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please donate. It helps to keep the show going. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.